this is Jenny from Just Being Me, and you're listening to the Learning to Love Yourself podcast, the show that inspires you to put yourself first.
Learning to love yourself on the path to happiness. Learning to love yourself on the path to happiness.
We're talking to Elise. Elise and I met in lockdown, didn't we?
Oh my goodness, yeah.
Online in lockdown, because obviously that's where everybody was meeting in those days. And ever since then, Elise and I, although our lives do majorly different things, always catch up every now and then, don't we? And Elise is just such a powerhouse. She really is. And she's somebody that lifts your energy. So I desperately wanted her to be on this podcast. So I'm going to let Elise introduce herself and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Amazing. Thank you so much for having me. I'm Elise Challis. I've got 3 children under 5 and I run my own business. I run a property business with my husband, and I also run my own sort of cosmetics and wellbeing business as well. So life is very, very busy. And yes, we met, didn't we, during lockdown when we were networking and things like that. So it's lovely to still be in touch with you.
It just seems such a long time ago now, doesn't it?
A different life. It just literally feels like a different life because so much has happened.
You have one more child now, so
Oh my goodness.
you just had Belle when I first met you, and now you've got Olivia as well. So
yeah, it's mad.
Tell me a little bit about why you needed to put some self-care into your world.
So for me, self-care was never something on my radar ever. I was always, and my mum actually said to me the other day, I think I brought you up with too much work ethic. Like you just go, 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 go. And I was like, I think that's a good thing. But she did make me realize that actually sometimes when there isn't any self-care, we literally do work ourselves into the ground. And so I was a social worker for 9 years in frontline child protection, and it was my life, my absolute life. I would go in at Christmas, I would do the extra hours, I'd stay till midnight. I was that person because I had no other partner, I had no children. It became my life basically. Mm. And self-care, there wasn't time for it. I thought there was no time for it. I would wake up, go to work, come home, go to sleep, go to bed. It was a very much a vicious cycle. And my body forced me to create time for self-care. It literally floored me and was like, if you're not going to listen to all those niggling little things that I've been sending your way, like the chronic back pain, that's the exhaustion, the emotional breakdowns, the overeating, the comfort eating, all of those things. And then it got to the point where I then started, I was lifting weights, really heavy weights, and I was boxing 3 or 4 times a week. And it got to the point where all of a sudden I'd be holding my phone and my hands were hurting. And I was like, well, this is really strange. And then it literally started going up my arms, and then I couldn't pick up my weights. And then after lots and lots of tests, I actually was diagnosed with fibromyalgia. And it's almost like my body was like, if you're not going to listen to me, I'm going to make you listen to me. So it floored me. And I had to rethink my life and what I was doing and how I was doing it and where I wasn't looking after myself and what I could then do to look after myself, because it goes back to that old saying, doesn't it? You can't look after other people if you're not looking after yourself.
Absolutely.
So the universe floored me and forced me into self-care because I just didn't have time to think about it, I guess.
So that's really interesting because, I would say that, doing some boxing, doing some exercises is a really good way to do self-care. But it kind of sounds like that was an extreme in your case, in the fact that there was no absolute downtime of letting your body rest.
Literally, I was training in the morning, go straight to work, working a very, very hard job, very exhausting, and then training again, and then coming home and literally just going to sleep. There was no decompression time. There was no time for fun, laughter. There was, and I had to then really think about what I didn't have in my life.
So what would you call self-care? What do you now call self-care?
So it's taken a while for me to get good at this because it's not something that comes naturally to me. And I do still find myself, and even the builders the other day said to me, you never sit down. And when someone says that to me, I go, oh, no, I haven't. No, you're right. I haven't. And I have to sometimes really stop myself. So for me, self-care is knowing that we don't always have to be on the go. We can sometimes say no and actually sit down, have a cup of coffee and relax. Catch up on, for me, Emmerdale, catch up on just chatting to some friends in messages, because I think sometimes we're constantly on the go. And so for me, self-care is now about pausing and just enjoying the moment. Even sometimes in the evening, I'll catch myself and I'll be like, right, Elise, put your phone down and hold your husband's hand. Like, make sure he knows you're here. It's just those little things that sometimes we get so caught up, don't we? And it's about just stopping and going, actually enjoy the moment. Go outside, feel the sun on you, have a warm cup of coffee, which is rare. Going, having a shower without the children joining me. That is blissful, It's just those small things. It doesn't have to be go for a spa day, go on holiday,
Conception, isn't it? It's such a misconception about, because actually self-care is just taking some time to be in the moment.
Yeah.
And however you get that, however that works for you.
Yeah.
Because, we do in today's society, it's go, 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 go. Everything's instant, isn't it? It's all on your phone. It's all on your computer. You can get anything you want now. And actually, that's everything on a screen. We all know what goes on a screen, but we all spend time. So we need some time out from some screens. And it's
100%.
Spending time doing something else, isn't it?
And I think as well, I've really got better at when I wake up now, I try and start the day on a good footing. So life is literally crazy from the minute that they wake up. Because they're 3 under 5, they're all so diddy still. They still want a lot, and all the time, all the same time.
Absolutely.
They're always at the same time. And so when I wake up now, I always have that little bit of time before they come and get me, where I will get up, or I may even do a meditation while I'm still laying in bed, start the day with a meditation, or I'll put my earpods on. And while I'm doing my skincare, which normally takes like 2 or 3 minutes, I'm listening to a motivational YouTube, or I'm listening to, a podcast, or I'm listening to something that's just getting me in a really good place while I'm literally doing my skincare. So it's not that I don't have time. I'm like squashing 2 things together, basically, because the skincare makes me feel amazing. It washes the day ready for my face. It just makes me feel better. And at the same time, I'm listening to two things.
Self-cares in one, haven't you?
Yeah. And it's so much. Or if I don't have time to do it while I'm listening to doing my skincare, for example, while the kids are eating their breakfast, I'll have one earpod in while I'm making a coffee, listening to something, just to try. I really like to try and start the day right. And that's made a massive difference, because we can all wake up feeling,
Well, one of the things that we said before we started recording, wasn't it? It's new moon tonight, which is sort of, I can feel the effect on that,
Yeah.
And so actually by consciously making the decision of I'm going to start my day on a positive note, can make all the difference. If you're feeling down, it's never going to make you feel woo-hoo, is it? But it is going to take you up to a level of, okay, I can do this day.
Yeah.
And it's
100%.
amazing the things you can do in such a short amount of time. I'm just developing an emergency kit of things that you can do in under 3 minutes that will help support you. And one of those things is multitasking. I do all my arm weights whilst I'm cleaning my teeth. I only need one hand. So do my arm weight. And that for me, I cannot start my day without my arm weights now. When I go away and I haven't got them with me because they were too heavy to bring, I'm finding anything I can in the room, do my arm weights, because otherwise my day is not okay.
Yeah.
Do you have a particular regime you do throughout a day? Or do you...
I have got to now. Yeah, I have now. I've got I've got levels. I've got my basic essential ones that I have to do, because like you said, otherwise you can feel it, right? And then I've got the ones that I add on as like extra bonus. So literally for me, I will definitely listen to or do a meditation or podcast or something in the morning. My skincare is my absolute must. Even when I went to Disneyland Paris with the kids, we were getting in until at like midnight, 'cause we did those fireworks thing. And I got them all down to sleep. And I literally creeped into the bathroom and I was still doing my skincare regime, because for me, it's just those 2 minutes where I'm focusing on me. And it makes me feel better. And I know when I wake up in the morning and I feel better, I'm going to have a better day because I feel good. So it's an essential for me, even in Disneyland after like 12 hours of walking. Those are little things that are essential. And like when I put them down for bed at night, I then go straight to my room and I do my skincare and I come and sit down feeling pampered, because I've washed the day off. I've put them to bed. I've put my night cream on and then I sit on the sofa and I feel pampered. I feel special. I feel like I've just treated myself. And actually all I've done is a 2-minute face wash, but I feel better. So they're my essentials. And then I have just introduced some exercise now. So I've started doing some exercise once or twice a week where I'm going to a PT and I'm just slowly building things back up again.
Yeah.
And I have started some fasting as well, which I've just found helps for me. It makes me feel better. So I've introduced fasting into my life. So I'm just learning what works for me, especially with like chronic health issues and a busy life. It's working like what works for me and what makes me feel good and what's achievable and what's time efficient.
Exactly.
Those kind of things.
You think that things change over time? Because I know from when I first started doing self-care, I found other things and gone, oh, I really like that. And so there's kind of my essentials and then there's others that I dip in and out of because of how it makes me feel. I just feel so good when I do it. And I also know and look around and see that when I cared for myself, my relationships around me are so much better. Nothing else to change.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm not to change nothing else. I'm just looking after me. And therefore, because I'm feeling better, everything else feels better.
100%.
So if you get under stress, if something happens that puts you under stress, do you have something that you go to as an emergency?
Yeah. So actually the last couple of days I've been literally non-stop and I have noticed myself like not eating properly, grabbing food, being really like, and I had some girls' drinks out booked last night in my diary. And my husband and I share a calendar. And I said to him, how did I miss that in my diary that I had that last night? Like, yesterday morning, I said to him, how did I forget I'm supposed to be going out tonight? And he's like, because your diary is so full. Like you are so packed out. And I said to him, well, maybe I won't go tonight because I just felt exhausted. And he's like, no, you need to go. And I had the best time because I was belly laughing. When you belly laugh and your cheek ache. And I got home and I told him all about it. And then you just think, I needed that. And what I used to do was make an excuse and not go. I always used to do that. I used to be like, it's too late. The kids might wake up. I'm exhausted. It's cold, whatever. I literally any excuse. And be like, there is no excuse that's going to work here. You just need to go.
It's recognizing that in yourself, isn't it? It's identifying that, and it's asking yourself questions. Why am I feeling like this? Because actually, if some work had come in, you'd have done that yesterday evening.
It is sometimes really hard. And like, I'm going to be doing a PT boot camp on Saturday and I have to wake up really early for it. And I said to James, I made loads of excuses and he was like, no, you just need to go. And I'm like, no, you're right. And I put it into a mum's group. I was like, look, accountability here. I'm trying to make excuses not to go. Who wants to come? And they were all like, oh, it's really early. I don't think I want to do that. And then I thought to myself, what are you doing? Just go. So I messaged the lady and I was like, right, book me on. And because sometimes we are our worst enemies, aren't we? We'll literally self-sabotage.
Absolutely. I'm booked on a retreat at the end of this month. And the closer it gets to it, the more I'm thinking, oh, have I got time for this? La, 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 la.
I know.
And I was talking to my sister-in-law, who's also my best friend. And she said to me, who are you going with? And I went, by myself. She went, go you. I said, I didn't want to be responsible for anybody else. I really wanted this to be my time. I didn't want to have to make arrangements to meet somebody, to do. Just wanted to go. And that reminded me, actually, I do want to go to this. This is what I'm aiming for. This is, you know, and sometimes we can beat ourselves up and then we have to, there's a bit of a kick up the bottom and go, hey, no, we need
100%, 100%. I've been going away recently for work and I stay in a hotel the night before because they're often quite far away. And as soon as I get in the hotel room, I lay on the bed and I order room service, even if it's just like a coffee and a pile of chips. I just like the fact that I can order room service and someone's bringing me something. There's no one else here. It's silent. I can lay on this bed and no one's going to disturb me. And sometimes we just need to allow ourselves to do that. We need to say it's okay to do those things and life will carry on. Like everybody's okay without us. And
But that's a
need
difficult
those
thing to
times.
get in here as well, isn't it? That whole fact that actually, the world is not going to collapse if we don't do what to do.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's okay. You don't
Yes.
like run the whole world. Like, you can take a day.
So we're going to talk a little bit about your business in a moment, but I just want to ask you this question because I know your answer is just going to be amazing. So how important for you is it to have the right people around you?
Oh my goodness. Essential for all different aspects of your life. Literally, if your support network in your home or in your family or your immediate people around you is not solid, then you need to have somebody to fall back on, don't you? Sometimes I'll ring up my mum and say, am I being unreasonable? Or, or she'll be like, yes, you're being unreasonable. Or like, I need to run something past you, someone you can trust. Or someone you can go to. I mean, with work, I've been in so many different companies before, and I've literally been slogging and never got anywhere. And it's because it wasn't the right place. It wasn't the right environment. It wasn't the right space. I wasn't surrounded by the right people. And then as soon as that all fell into place, it just goes. And it's the exact same thing for everybody that's in my team. Everyone's felt that.
When did you, because you changed into a different business, when was that? How many months ago was that?
So I started in December, and I did that thing where I was like, oh, I just have a look, see what it is, see how it goes. And then January came, and I was like, this is amazing. And that was when I made that conscious decision to grow, to develop it. So really we've been, what we are now, September. So 9 months.
And how many people have you got in your team now?
I think we're in the 70s.
I can absolutely say hand on heart that the reason why, because I know a lot of the people that are in your team and through all our networking connections.
Yeah.
And I have watched so many of them go from this sort of person to this person.
I know.
And that is down to your leadership in that team and that team making them feel supported. I just, when I've spoken to each of them, they were just like, yeah, but it's just amazing. Do you want to come and join?
Do you know what? That was the aspect of the business that I never expected to happen. I thought I was just going to share discounted, amazing products, right? Like, I thought I could just say to somebody, I've started wearing this lippy and I feel really good about myself. Like, I go out with my shoulders back and I feel more confident. That's what I started the business on. But actually now, 9 months later, I wake up in the morning for my customers to message me and say, wow, I feel so much more confident. Or for my team members to say to me, I'm posting or I'm saying or I'm doing things or I'm having conversations that I thought I'd never be able to do. So I think for me, that's actually the best part about it, is the development, the self-development and the growth that people are feeling. And that has only come from the environment and the team support that we've created, and that feeling of safety, security, empowerment, confident building. And I think without that, none of this wouldn't be a thing. It just wouldn't be a thing. And it doesn't happen anywhere else. And I think that's where people are really growing, because they're like, oh my God, this is amazing.
And also when you feel like that, actually, it's much, much easier to be able to talk to people about what you do.
Yeah. You just relax into it. You become
having a conversation. That's what you're doing. It's, and letting people make their own minds up, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%.
So we will put in all the details below, all of how to contact you. But just tell us the name of your business and how people can get in contact with you.
Yeah, of course. So by all means, I'm terrible. I don't have like groups you can go to. Literally, you can just find me on Facebook. I'm super chilled. So people literally can come to me and ask questions. And like you said, it's just a conversation. It's not for everybody, but it's for somebody that wants to have, personal growth or the extra money. But so I work under the umbrella of a company called Oriflame. So it's your all day, everyday products. They're Swedish based, natural inspired. They're just lovely. They're just lovely. And it saves people money. And it's about allowing people to have those self-care moments.
Yeah.
Or those confidence boosting moments. Like I said, with just popping a little lippy on or a little gloss and going out feeling better or creating that self-care routine of doing your skincare. So you wake up with that glow, and you take a picture and you don't feel like you have to put a filter on it. That for me is crucial for people, because you want to feel like your self-care is boosting your confidence as well as looking after you as well. So yeah, by all means, Elise Challis on Facebook.
We'll put all of those down below so people can click the links. But yeah, if you're interested in anything like that, please get in contact with Elise. It's not just about doing it as a job, is it? It's also about the products, and it's also
Yeah.
about the support. It's the team thing that's
Yeah.
going on there,
Yeah.
isn't it? So,
100%.
well worth going and chatting with Elise.
Oh, it's so lovely. And it's such an important message to be sharing that you're doing, and you're shouting out, and you're sharing with people. So I'm so pleased to be a part of that. Thank you so much.
Thanks for listening today. If you'd like to know more, you can find all the links down below. Oh, and don't forget to press subscribe so you can catch the next one. See you soon.